Hello there and welcome to the Web News with our pick of the stories making the online headlines. Coming up on today's show, online protests after a Mexican radio station fires an investigative journalist. Debate in Canada over Stephen Harper's face veil comments. And a daredevil paragliding with his snowmobile. One of Mexico's most prominent investigative journalists, Carmen Aristegui, who hosted a daily show on MVS Radio, was fired by the station on Sunday over her involvement in the Mexico Leaks platform, set up to receive leaked documents showing acts of corruption. Her dismissal has been met with widespread commentary across Mexico, with many turning to the web to protest and campaign on her behalf. They've taken social networks in their droves, posting under the En Defensa de Aristegui hashtag, which translates as In Defense of Aristegui, to show support for the reporter and also to slam her ex-employer. A lot of Mexicans believe MVS Radio sacked Carmen Aristegui because they feared she would reveal incriminating information about members of the government. The people who wrote these tweets are voicing a similar sentiment and are urging all those who support the journalist to boycott MVS. Some are even encouraging their fellow citizens to contact companies that advertise on the radio and ask them to lobby the station bosses to reinstate Carmen Aristegui at the earliest possible opportunity. An informal hacker group, Anonymous, has also joined the campaign, sharing a video on YouTube in which they vow to do everything they can to assist Carmen Aristegui and to convince her former employer to give her back her job. Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper has come under fire following comments made last week when he defended his efforts at banning women from wearing niqabs at Canadian citizenship ceremonies. Speaking during a debate at the House of Commons, the PM basically said that covering one's face during a citizenship ceremony wasn't very Canadian, as it embraced a practice that was contrary to Canadian values and was, quote, rooted in a culture that is anti-women. His remarks have triggered a lively debate online. Reactions soon started springing up on Twitter, with a lot of web users saying freedom of thought is a constitutionally protected right in Canada, and so everyone has the right to dress as they see fit. Others have posted somewhat sarcastic responses, asking Stephen Harper if women should be allowed to wear makeup at these official ceremonies. Some have shared photos of covered faces in non-religious contexts to social media platforms, wearing a hat and scarf, for example, a sports mask, a Batman costume, all asking their head of government, with more than a hint of irony, if their attire is suitably Canadian. But not all Canadians are quite so outraged. In fact, some have even come to Stephen Harper's defence. The folk who shared these tweets say the niqab is a symbol of oppression and has no place in Canadian society. Over 210,000 people have been killed in Syria since the civil war began in March 2011, and 2014 alone saw 76,000 deaths. This infographic was put together by international news agency Agence France-Presse and also shows us how 7,600,000 Syrians have been forced to flee their homes, with some 4 million people seeking refuge in another country. You can take a closer look at these alarming stats on the AFP's website. Miss Pickle is not your average dog. As we can see from her Instagram page, the French bulldog is rather partial to a bit of modern art. Her owner regularly shares pics of the pooch posing alongside contemporary artworks. And the very endearing shots are all displayed on the Pickle Beholding Instagram page. American street artist Joe Urato creates tiny spray-painted wooden figures and then incorporates them into the urban landscape. letting them loose in public places to depict them interacting with their surroundings. Head to the artist's website to see more of these temporary artworks. This YouTube video was made by the team from the Stunt Freaks Collective and sees one daredevil paragliding with his snowmobile over a mountain in Sweden. And it makes for thrilling viewing indeed. Enjoy.